Hi again. In the last video, we talked about what we'll focus on to help you maximize your impact. In this particular video, we'll talk about how we're going to interact together and what you can do to prepare to make sure that you show up fully ready to go on our first day together. So first, let's just talk about how we'll work together. Remember, the point of all this is that you return to work with new things that you can apply, that this applies to your work every single day. So that's my goal in every discussion that we'll have. So every time I introduce a topic to you, I'll be making sure that you have frameworks and tools that you can put into practice. Then I'll share with you cases from some of the most challenging situations I've seen with executives that I've worked with in consulting and executive coaching, so that you can wrestle with them, with your peers. It will be done in a case environment where you can debate what the right approach will be, applying these frameworks and tools that you just learned. Then we'll ask you to pull out your specific situations at work so that you can then say, what am I going to do? How am I going to take this back when I return? So those are the things that we'll do every single time. We'll have an active discussion. This is going to be high on interaction, low on PowerPoint. Understand that this is taking place in a relatively risk-free environment. You're not at work, your boss, your peers aren't there. You're removed from the business, so you don't have the risk of that. So you can really stretch and take yourself further. Take some more risks than you might normally do. And that will be great. So I encourage you to show up ready to lean in and play hard. Now also, keep in mind that there's no assessment being made. I'm not going to perform a cross-cal at the end of my second day with you. This is just you getting to stretch. You're going to make an impression on people, but there's no evaluation taking place. So just come ready to play, ready to stretch, to go for it. That's how we'll interact in every particular topic, and every single topic that we'll cover. That's what our interactions will be like. So now let me share with you what you can do to prepare to make sure that you're fully ready for these 2 days that we have together. I'm going to ask you 3 questions that will help you set you up. I'm going to just share the questions right off the bat, and then we can dig deep into them a bit later. The first question is, what will it take for you to show up fully committed? What will it take for you to be fully committed? The second question is, what are the most critical relationships for you to be successful? For your success, what are the most critical relationships? And then the third question is, what's the ideal state? For each of those relationships, what's it going to take for you to maximize that relationship, to maximize your impact and your success? Okay, so now I'll just break down each of those 3 questions so you can be fully prepared when we gather in New York. First, what will it take for you to be fully committed? You know, I know you lead a big life. You have a big job already. So there are plenty of interruptions and distractions that could pull you away from being fully engaged and fully present in this program. I've seen it before when we take breaks. People are just, it's almost like an addiction. They have to check their phone. They have to check their email. But the more you do that, the more distracted you'll be, and you'll actually start to drop your level of learning if that happens. So what's it going to take for you to show up fully committed? You know this is a great opportunity. I don't have to tell you that. And I know that there are demands outside. So what's the conversation that you need to have with yourself first to make sure that you're ready to go? And then there may be conversations that you need to have with others. Let's start with the people at work. They depend on you. They look up to you. They rely on you. What are the requests that you need to make? What are the things that you need to let them know so that they will allow you and support you to be fully present and engaged for the 4 days that you're going to be here in New York? So what do you need to talk to with them, those other people that you work with, your boss, your peers, the people on your team, your customers? Prepare yourself for that and go ahead and take those actions. And then there are conversations that you may also want to have with the people outside of your work life, your loved ones, your family, your friends. They also look to you and rely on you. How can you make sure that they're aware of what's happening so that they can fully support you being completely present in this program? Now, I'm not suggesting that you'll never talk to anybody else, but how do you minimize that so that you can be fully focused, especially during the days, so that you can be locked in? But even during the evenings, there's going to be opportunities for you to network, and there'll be small assignments for you to do. How do you make sure that you're fully engaged? So that's a question that's you know the answers to that. I can't answer that question, but I trust that you know what to do. Then the next question is, you know, who are those critical relationships that you need to be successful? I'd ask you to identify no more than 3 of them. If you have more than 3, it's really difficult to focus. So 1, 2, or 3 critical relationships that must thrive for your business to thrive. These are relationships that are real right now. I'm not talking about hypothetical future relationships. Things that are important to you right now, those critical relationships. And then once you've identified them, I want you to describe them. What's the quality of your current interactions? What is your attitude towards those people? What's their attitude, do you think, towards you? What are your perceptions of them? What are their perceptions of you and your business? What are your behaviors? How do you guys engage together? What's your level of trust? How do you interact? Is the trust high? What are the things that are working really well that you want to make sure that you build on? What's not working that you know you need to repair? So just do a great description of every single one of up to 3 relationships that are critical to your success. And then the last question is, what's the ideal state? Where does that relationship need to go for you to have the maximum impact? What would that look like? You can use a lot of the same criteria that you described in this last question, but what does the ideal state look like? What will your interactions look like? What will the trust be like? What will your day-to-day conversations look, feel, and sound like? So make sure that you have a great description of your ideal state. Then, once we have where you are currently and where you want to be, now we've identified what the gap is. And now we know where you and I can focus in our 2 days together as we build out those new tools and new skills for you in the areas that we're going to talk about. If you come fully aware of those and ready to play, you'll not only maximize your own learning, you'll help everybody else in the room as well. There's an old saying that I love: we become the company that we keep. So keep good company. So by you being fully prepared, you're the best company. You raise the level. When everybody else is prepared, they raise the level for you, and we can fly together. So we're going to have great work to do together in New York for 2 days. I'm looking forward to working with you, and I can't wait to meet you. Thanks.